everybody. Oh my god, this is the third live for today. So first was in this group, then Sonia and I went live in the Mom Sparkle group, and I am back here again for the Mom-a-thon video number 2, and we are going to listen to the amazing Dr. Britney, and I truly am excited and looking forward to this conversation. It's all about emotional eating, and I feel we are all guilty of it. And Dr. Britney is going to talk to us about the triggers and what we can do, because I feel at the end of the day, it's all habits. And she's going to talk to us about how the habits can be broken. So if you guys can see me live, just come and say a hi. I hope I'm live because I'm not able to see anybody, but I'm just going to wait for a couple of minutes. So just give me a heads up, just give me some hearts if you can see me live, if you can hear me properly. And I'm going to just try and add Dr. Britney. Yeah. So how's everybody doing? I know 2 times in the same day you guys are seeing me live here. Hey Soini. Okay, so I did this fun post where I asked you guys about some trigger factors, when you feel that you are overeating or indulging in unhealthy food, and I loved your answers. So if you guys are catching me live right now, why don't you just comment in and let me know, and then let Dr. Britney know once she joins in, like what triggers you, when it comes to. Okay, so I have tried to add Dr. Britney. She is fabulous. So I'm just going to pray this works. Okay. Dr. Britney, I've sent you a request, so I guess it should work. So for all those who've just tuned in, Dr. Britney is a vascular surgeon and she's a health coach, and she was the expert mentor for September Momflix, and she did this amazing masterclass on 4 important pillars of healthy eating, and it was fab. It was truly phenomenal. Okay, it's saying that adding Dr. Britney. Okay, so yeah, so I think this is going to be such a fabulous masterclass, our first ever in Mom-a-thon. So I am truly excited for this. So yeah, if you guys are seeing me live, just come and say a hi. If you guys are catching on, later on a replay, say a hi then. Okay, let me try and add her back again. I hope this works.
Hello, how are you? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I'm able to hear you.
Let's try. I'll try these.
Okay. I'm going to hear you. Let me see if this works.
Is that better?
Let's see. Okay. Are you guys able to hear us properly?
I can hear. I hear you fine. Do you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you fine. Yeah. Can you guys just give us a heads up if you can hear us properly? Okay, I think yeah, we're good to go. The earphones worked.
Yeah, I
so
think
Dr.
it's probably
Britney,
better.
yeah, thank you so much for coming here. This is the second time we are catching each other on a video, and it's always such a pleasure to see you and just to embrace all the awesomeness and all of your expert wonderful knowledge that you share with us.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Thank you so much for having me, and I just hope that I can serve your community today.
Oh, we are so honored and fortunate that we have somebody like you. I was just telling them you are a surgeon, you are a health coach. So do you want to tell a little bit about you to our lovely moms here?
Sure, sure. So, so I am Dr. Britnny. I am a wife. I'm a mom of three. I have two boys who are 9 and 7 years old, and I have a 2-year-old daughter. I am also a board certified vascular surgeon in Connecticut in the US and a health coach. And I really focus on nutrition for busy moms.
Love that. And I feel that's so important because as mothers, I feel we need like good nutrition more than
Yes.
anybody, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We as moms are such a center of our household. And with that said, we often put ourselves last because we're so
Absolutely.
busy taking care of everyone and everything. But we have to really remember that in order to really take care of everyone as well as possible, we have to take care of ourselves.
Absolutely. Love that. And that is what, the group believes in too. So I'm sure they're going to have such a blessed time here with you. So how do you want to start? Do you want me to go through the answers that the moms had answered when I asked them to
Sure.
post?
Yeah, so that would be great. I saw Jess, and I have my computer open to the side just so I can take a
Sure.
peek too. But yes, thank you,
Awesome. So
everyone.
we had asked in the group, what triggers you to eat and generally reach for unhealthy food. So here are the answers that we've received. Um, so one mom is saying when she's bored or stressed, she tends to binge eat. I think all of us, right?
Yeah, so common. Absolutely.
Yeah. While watching favorite shows and movies. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
That's a nice one.
yes,
When I'm frustrated because of someone's act, I want to eat some sugary food.
yes, yes.
And yeah, when I'm in tension, I just tend to eat anything that comes in front of me.
Yeah.
A long undone to-do list. I feel that's
Mm,
an important point too.
yes, I understand that. Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, boredom, stress, helplessness. One mom is saying seeing her children being fussy eaters trigger her to eat
Mm,
more.
okay,
And then she's
okay.
too tired to cook something for herself because, running behind children, of course, is draining.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
I think we can all relate to all of these, right,
Of
ladies?
course, of
I'm just
course. Yeah.
scrolling down here. Yeah, so I think, and anyone, please feel free. I know, Amu, that you can see the comments.
Yes.
So we would love to hear from you. You don't have to feel like you cannot comment any longer, but I think thank you, first of all, for sharing, because I know even that can feel a little vulnerable sharing that,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
will help me help you. And so I think one of the first things that's nice to really talk about is that when we have an emotion like stress or like fear or like boredom, even, that behind it there's really a thought that we're having. And we might
Yeah.
not realize it, but it's true. So for mom who said especially, I have a 2-year-old daughter, so that one really hit me right here, that you have a fussy eater and then that causes you yourself to reach for food, that there's probably really a thought behind that. So for example, when my daughter gets a bit fussy, then my first thought is, oh no, well, now perhaps she's not going to rest well. And then what's the next thought behind that is, oh no, maybe is she really getting ill? Is there some sign that I'm missing that I should be looking for? And then it's perhaps, oh no, she's not going to sleep well. And then if she's not going to sleep well, then oh, perhaps I'm not going to sleep well. And then I'm going to have trouble addressing the things that I need to do the next day. So when we are stressed about something, when we're afraid of something, when we're nervous about something, we're really thinking something underneath them.
Yeah.
And so the first thing I would invite you to do is just pause and sit with that for a little bit. And that can feel really uncomfortable, right? We don't want to. You don't want
Yeah.
to rest in that feeling. But that's one of the most effective things that you can do, honestly, is just acknowledge that feeling and really dig into it and figure out where it's coming from so that you can really get to the root of it.
Love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And because it's a vicious cycle, right?
Yes,
This.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It truly is. And as you're saying, and as we can see in the comments, it's incredibly common.
Yeah.
Um, I think there are some schools of thought that say that there is no such thing as emotional eating, which I totally
Mm.
disagree with.
Yeah.
It's very human, it's very real. We all
Mm.
feel it. And
Right.
sometimes it's just important to know that you have this unrest in your spirit and just pause for a moment. And
So
again,
you're
it
just
won't
breaking
forget.
up, Dr.
Oh
Britney.
no. Okay, oops, I'm not sure. Let me make sure my Wi-Fi is okay. Better?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, okay. So yeah, that would be my first thought is just to really
Yeah.
acknowledge that feeling and
Oh
acknowledge that
no, you're
there's real.
breaking again.
Oh
Are
no.
you guys able
Let's
to
see.
hear Dr. Britney properly?
Maybe if I move a little bit.
Just let me know in the comments, guys, if you're able to hear her properly.
I hope so. Let me double check my Wi-Fi. Yep, I'm on.
It's okay. Let's ask the moms. Moms, are you able to hear us
Okay,
properly? Yes, they're saying yes. So I think go
they're
ahead.
saying
Yeah.
yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So yes, so just to sum it up, that would be my first thought is to really just think to yourself, pause when you are having that uncomfortable feeling and
Mm,
try to understand why.
true. Yeah. So
Yes.
important. And Dr. Brittany, can you talk to us about what happens? Like what triggers this kind of eating?
What triggers the emotional eating?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So there's absolutely there's a physical, again, reaction to it. And I can't help
Right.
but talk a little bit about sugar when I talk about that because that tends to
Right.
be a really common craving and a really common
Right.
theme. And when we reach for food for comfort, so, when you eat, particularly if you're eating something that contains sugar, then there is a hormone response. So, again, what you're feeling is absolutely physiologic. And again, it's absolutely controlled by hormones. And one of those really important hormones is dopamine. Yeah, it's really wild to think of actually that
Wow.
what you're eating and how you're eating is
Mm.
so closely tied to your brain. And when we look at the responses in a brain after we eat, especially if we eat containing sugar, we get a reaction that's really similar
Yeah.
to something like an addictive drug, honestly. And it's that
Wow. Okay.
dopamine spike. It's truly amazing.
Mm.
The body is truly amazing. And if you eat something sugary, again, you get a dopamine spike, and dopamine is really that pleasure hormone. It's the number one hormone that gets released when you feel good. And so,
Yeah.
if you feel happy, if you feel pleased, if you
Mm.
feel a bit lighter, if you feel stress free after having a sweet treat, you're not imagining that. Your body is truly releasing
Yeah.
dopamine and it's giving you all of those good feels. So it's
Wow.
encouraging you, and that's why, again, I'm going to use that word cycle. I think that's really
Right.
appropriate because that's a reward. It's essentially
Yeah.
rewarding you for eating that thing. And
Right.
so you then crave that feeling again. And so you'll
True.
reach for it again.
Yeah.
So I think it's really helpful to know that. Again, first of all, just to acknowledge that it's
Mm.
real, it's happening, you're not imagining it. And
Right.
then to try to think of some things or educate yourself about some things that you can do
Right.
to help really bring that response down and so that you're in
Mm.
control of it and the response is not controlling you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we have a couple of questions if you want to, just
Oh,
address them,
perfect.
while we are live.
Yes.
One mom is asking, I crave for a lot of cakes and chocolates when I'm exhausted. So is it okay to have like that little slice of cake?
Yes. So it's always okay. So first I want to just start by saying that food is good. I don't want anyone to feel any restriction regarding food, any fear regarding food. I really like us to feel like food is abundant and good, and so I just want to start with that. And it's yes, I think it's important to feel like food is something that we can reach for. If your child wants something, then feel free to give it. You have to feel comfortable. I think it's
Mm.
important too to think about the timing of it.
Right.
So, for one, I think it's really common to have a sweet treat sort of as the last thing that we eat
Yeah.
during the day.
Yeah.
And that's probably the least helpful time to have it, honestly. And again, you have to sort of do what's comfortable for you in your household,
Yeah.
and only you are going to
Yeah.
know that. But the more sugar you eat towards the end of the day, you're really
Yeah.
giving your body and your brain more work to do in a time
True.
when you really want to encourage rest and you want to encourage digestion. And the
Mm.
more food you're eating, especially the more food containing sugar, the harder it's going to be to rest, honestly. So,
Yeah.
again, I would say try to balance it. Try to remember that,
Mm.
understand it. Don't feel like anything is ever off limits, but perhaps that it's
Right.
not something that you're going to want to do routinely.
Mm. Right. So do you agree that sugar rush is a real thing? Because as moms, we don't want to like give sugary treats to children, especially towards the end of the day.
Right. Right. So I do think that a sugar rush is a very real thing and we want to control it. I think a big part of controlling it is how
Yeah.
you eat all throughout the day, honestly. And I know I noticed
Right.
a few lovely participants in last week's challenge, and that was really the goal of the
Yes.
challenge, was to start to understand how to
Mm.
balance sugar all day long so you're not really
Right.
feeling those highs and lows. So that's a
Right.
big part of it, is really nourishing your body all day long. But then again, not to really ever feel deprived. And so if you want something
Right.
chocolatey, you can have it. And with that said, dark chocolate is a really great
Mm.
choice because it's much lower in sugar.
Right.
Um,
Right.
Therefore, it will not taste as sweet, of course,
Mm.
but it's a nice option.
Awesome. So, just to take this one step ahead, and I'm loving this conversation. Like, can you give us some, tips and tricks of how to deal with emotional eating? Like, what can
Yes.
we as mothers do?
Yes, absolutely. So again, I think, when you feel those feelings, I think again it's important to just sit back and think and rest in that. And I honestly can't emphasize that enough because it won't feel comfortable, but it's the most important work that you can do. The next
Right.
thing I would say is, again, going to probably sound a little bit simple, but it's powerful, is just to declare that you're not an emotional eater, right? You're
Mm.
probably in this conversation because you identify as an emotional eater, but I think one of the
Yeah.
first things that you can do to really change that for yourself is to identify as someone who is not an emotional eater. And that's going to be a process. Of course, it's
Right.
not going to be with a snap of a finger that you change that. But it
True.
starts with your really speaking that out loud, speaking it into your life so that you can then
Yeah.
make those necessary changes. So that would
Absolutely.
be
So
my
kind
next.
of like affirming it to yourself
Absolutely.
that you're a conscious
Absolutely.
eater. I love that. I never thought,
Absolutely.
about food that way. So, thank you for bringing up this point. I feel that's so beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I do. I think there's not, there's no such thing as too much positivity. And so I think if there's something that
Mm,
you want to change about yourself, then absolutely speak it as if it's so. Um, and the next thing that I would say, again, might sound a little simplistic, but it's so true, is that food is a resource. Look at it as that, and
right.
try to transition a bit away from food as a reward. And
Wow.
again, with
Yeah.
that said, food, it feels good to eat. So I'm not saying that it's not a real thing, but to
Right.
start to look to other things as rewards as
Mm,
opposed to food. So to that mom who, for example, wants to give her kiddo a sweet treat at night, and that's probably a lot of us, right? Then perhaps it can be a game. Perhaps if we're limiting screen time during the day, it can be a little bit
mm,
of an enjoyable show that you can enjoy with your child. Perhaps it can be a special piece of jewelry that she wants to wear the next day that she doesn't often get to wear. Or
right.
perhaps it can
Mm,
be bringing a doll to school that we usually want to keep at home. Some bit of enjoyment that isn't food centered. I think both for us
mm,
and for children, for us, perhaps we can
so
look
important. Yeah.
to, painting our nails or just something else that can make us feel good, because oftentimes, again, it's not hunger. It's just that we want that good feeling, and food's the first thing that we
Absolutely.
go to feel
Yeah.
good, because it does bring that very physical good feeling with
Mm,
it. But there are
yeah.
other things that we can do to feel
Right.
good, and then will keep us out of that cycle.
Right. So you're saying that break that pattern somewhere because
Yeah.
that neural pathway is already formed. That when I'm stressed,
Yes.
only thing that will make me feel good is a bag of chips.
Yes. 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 And because, right, first of all, acknowledging that you're right, it's making you feel good. But it's
Yeah.
followed by, not too long after, making you feel badly,
Mm,
making you feel
right.
guilty. Also, that
Mm,
crash then comes, and that good feeling when you reach for that treat does not last long. So
yeah.
instead, let's flip it. Let's think of something else, perhaps
Mm,
non-food related, that will also help
yeah.
us to feel good, but that good feeling will last
Right.
longer and not be associated with guilt or stress because we actually gave in to the food.
Right. Love that. So we have one question if you want to quickly answer.
Of course.
So one mom is saying her son has just turned 7 and absolutely hates all kinds of food. anything
Oh
that has vegeta-
no. Okay.
anything that has vegetables he hates.
Okay.
And he was not like this before. New school, new environment has changed everything.
Okay.
Um, so she's asking if you have some tips for her on how to bring him back to enjoying the food and
Yes.
enjoying
Yes.
veggies.
Sure. So as I'm gonna just start talking, but Mom, maybe you can tell us what things did he used to enjoy? Things that you know that he did enjoy, and even he's turning away from those things now. I'd love to hear what those are. I have a 7-year-old boy, as I mentioned at the start of this, so I know how they can behave. My husband and I tease that they change like the wind. Honestly, he will tell me on Monday that he doesn't like something that he literally liked on Saturday. And it can be very frustrating, and we just roll with it and just ride the wave. So,
Yeah,
but one
I
thing
can
that I
so
will
relate.
say, yeah, and just hang in there because he'll change again. You can
Hmm.
be sure of that. But one thing I would recommend is to not fight. Just again, try to go with him in that and not allow it to be a point of conflict. So one thing that I would suggest
Yeah.
is a smoothie. So moms, again, let me know if this sounds like
Right.
something that's doable for you, but green smoothies are one really amazing way that I get fiber and balanced sugar for my entire family, my husband included. So if
Okay.
my 7-year-old, again, really loves mango, for one, he loves tropical fruits, which are delicious, so it's
Right.
understandable.
Yeah.
So I will make a smoothie for him, especially in that sort of late afternoon time that we often feel something that we need. So a little mango, but then a lot of vegetables. And I know that the availability of vegetables can be different depending on where we all are. So I'll often use something like spinach, but you can add cauliflower, you can add broccoli even. It will have that mango in it, so it will still have
Just
that sweet
sneak it
taste.
inside.
Sneak it in there. It's still going to taste sweet because of the mango. Blend it perhaps with something like a plant-based milk, like I use like a coconut milk. You can also use a nut milk. Again, it will taste sweet.
Okay.
If he's a 7-year-old boy, he might really get a kick out of that green color. But then you can feel assured that he's getting some good nutrients. So I think smoothies are a really powerful way to do that. And then you don't have to get into so much of a battle of him eating actually a noticeable vegetable, and just feel comfortable and again assured that he is getting veggies.
Wow, love that. One mom is asking, I know we have to kind of wind this up and we have got a couple of questions. So maybe you can go back, Dr. Britnny, and
I'd
answer
love
them
to.
as comments.
I'd love to.
But maybe just one. I'm loving this question. So one mom is asking, why is everything healthy so bland? Can't we have some tasty stuff that's healthy?
I do love that question too, because I think that's a feeling out there, and I like to just tackle that head on, and I would disagree. I think healthy food can be so delicious and so beautiful too, and I would just like to again remind us and encourage us that we can use things like fats, like you can use oils and butter and spices to really make something come alive. And the more colorful it is, the more beautiful it is, and it will taste just as beautiful. So again, I know while we're here, I'd love to hear what things are bland because, for example, you can make something that's got lots of colorful veggies like cucumber and peppers, all of the rainbow, and whatever source of protein, whether you eat meat or you don't, and it just looks so amazing. And as you're cooking it, it will smell so amazing, and it tastes just as good. So, and I would just love to, I don't know if perhaps I can also put in the link that I'm hosting a few master classes coming up, and one is tomorrow. And that's one thing that I like to really address head on, is that healthy food, it does not have to taste like paper. It really doesn't. Like, I love food. I like to feel like I can eat food when I want to, that I'm not on a time scale, but every time I eat, I feel really comfortable that what I'm eating is nourishing my body, that it's building me up. And so I would really like you all to feel that too. So I think vegetables are tasty. I think fruit is tasty. So I don't want you to think that we're limited by things that taste bad, because we're not. But if you have an example of something, I'd love to sort of help you make that a little bit more attractive.
So maybe, she can put the comment in, and then you can help her, like spice it up a little
Absolutely.
bit.
Absolutely.
Wow. So
Absolutely.
as we, wind this beautiful conversation, of course, we want to know where the moms can find you, and if you can talk a
Sure.
little bit about your webinar, and also if you can leave us with any of your 2 or 3 favorite health tips that moms can follow.
Of course. Of course. Absolutely. So I am hosting a few master classes coming up. So they're Eastern time, but if you go to my website, then you'll find them there. And if you don't catch me
Okay.
live, you can absolutely catch the replay, and I will post it. But it's at drbritnny.com, and you have to spell out doctor, and my name is spelled Brittny. So drbritnny.com/secrets. And so I'm talking about 3 secrets to a lifetime of healthy eating. And I'll just go ahead and tell you that one of those secrets is that it can feel good. So that's what reminded me of that. So I will post it below.
Right.
I'd love to see any of you there. Otherwise, I know I think you posted my fan page. So I'm at Dr.
Yes.
Britnny on Facebook. I'm at Healthy Habits Coaching on Instagram, and I would
Yeah.
love
And
to
I
continue.
love
I'm
your
also in the
Instagram
group.
feed. Yes.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes.
And I'm here in the group, so whenever
Yeah.
I see something that I feel like I can speak to, then I chime in. So I am here, but those are the other places where you can find me.
Right. Awesome. Love that. And any concluding notes, like anything you want to, just let the moms know before,
Yeah.
we conclude this. And there are few questions. So, moms are asking whether we can give honey to, our children, and whether cow's milk is good. So, maybe you can go and, comment
I
below
will.
whenever you get time. Yeah.
I will. I will absolutely come back and leave some comments. And I would just say, again, what you're feeling, just regarding emotional eating, just to bring it back to that. If you're feeling an emotion and then you're reaching for food, you're not crazy. So don't let anyone make you feel that you are. It's a very real feeling. But I just want to
Yeah.
encourage
Yeah.
you that you don't have to continue that cycle. Again, you can acknowledge it, you can break the cycle. And particularly when it comes to sugar, you can get off the sugar roller coaster and still continue to enjoy food. And however I can help you do that, I would love to help you do that. So I will be back in the
Awesome.
comments, and I invite you
Yes.
to join me wherever I am.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr.
Of
Britney. This was
course. Thank
amazing.
you.
And yeah, if you guys have any questions for Dr. Britney, just put them in the comments. And she's just been so gracious enough. She's been answering comments for the Mom Flex Moms, and now here. So we're just so grateful for you,
Oh,
Dr.
it's my
Britney.
pleasure. I'm so happy to be part of this thriving community that you all are building, and I'll
Thank
see you
you.
in the comments.
Yes. Bye
Thank
for
you.
now.
Of
Thank
course.
you,
Bye
Dr.
bye,
Britney.
everyone.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.